Everyone. Welcome back. Another video, quick and short and sweet, but about a very nice and interesting topic that probably a lot of you who are watching this are struggling with right now. The end of the enterprise agreement. And the EA has long been like the backbone of Microsoft licensing, but we can all see it coming. MCA, CSP, those are the driving forces for Microsoft licensing programs. We can already see it right now. A lot of smaller organizations that used to be eligible for an EA are now switching to CSP. So they're actively, making that move to a different program. So that's what I want to talk about today. So the EA, when I started working at Microsoft in 2011, there were already rumors that Microsoft was going to get rid of it. Now we're living in 2025. EA is still around. I suspect it will be around for quite a few years longer. But Microsoft is doing a lot in the last couple of years around making it more interesting, easier, better to purchase licenses, and especially cloud services from them. So you can see that with the CSP program. CSP was there before, but Microsoft moved to the new commerce experience, which is basically running on the Microsoft Customer Agreement platform. And Microsoft has also released the Microsoft Customer Agreement for Enterprise, where you can directly transact on the MCA through Microsoft without the need for a partner in between. Now, these models, customers of Microsoft are playing around with it. Why? Cost, flexibility, the strategy that Microsoft is positioning with their sales team. So there's a push around this basically. And at the moment, there's a lot of factors that play into your decision to move to a different contractual vehicle potentially. Microsoft recently announced the end of the waterfall discounts. So where you used to get a discount if you were a larger company, let's say above 15,000 users, you would fall into the level D category. That's now ending for all online services. So all online services will default to a level A price. So that means if you're used to level D, which many larger enterprises are, and many public sector customers are worldwide as well, your cost by default will go up between 12 to 14%. Other factors that might play into this are the flexibility that you can get through MCA. In CSP, for instance, you have the option to purchase on a monthly basis, on an annual basis, or on a triannual basis. And for the annual and triannual, you can also choose to be invoiced on a monthly basis. So you have a lot more things that you can play around with, things that in the EA require amendments to make these kind of arrangements. So a little bit of the basics on EA and MCA-E. So the EA is a program from Microsoft where you need a minimum of 500 employees or seats. Will always be a 3-year term and will have volume discounts, though these are ending as of November 1st, 2025. So any customer renewing after that time will no longer have those volume discounts, removing one of the key and interesting factors of the EA. There's a couple of other nuances there that might still make it interesting and worthwhile to sign an EA, like step-up pricing, continuation of from SA pricing, which they probably will eliminate as well. What else we have there? Certain add-ons that you can purchase. There's some benefits to an EA that you might not have in CSP or MCA-E. MCA-E is the digital successor to the EA, or that's what Microsoft states it is. It's a simpler contract. It's not as layered and hierarchical as an EA contract, much smaller. You sign a base agreement, and then if you want to add certain products to your MCA, you will sign for those T's and C's upon adding those services to your contract. There's monthly options, there's annual options, there's tri-annual options as well. And the big benefit of these models is that they're directly transactable with Microsoft. unless you're in an indirect country in the world. But a lot of countries can directly transact these programs with Microsoft without the need of a Microsoft partner in between. So other strengths here are the governance around it, the predictability of an EA. You have long-term price protection, which you can get in MCA and CSP to a certain extent as well. And also the scale of things. It's just the go-to. The EA is still the go-to. It will remain the go-to until Microsoft decides to kill it, is what I think. There's a few weaknesses. The discounts are lowering, the transparency is being removed, and you have less flexibility at renewal because Microsoft will look at your current contract and the current incentives that you have in your contract and always try and reduce those, opposed to what you had. With CSP, for instance, you don't need to deal with Microsoft, so you can just directly move there, talk to your partner, have a lot more sense on what is and isn't possible. Why Microsoft is pushing CSP? Cloud first subscription economics. So Microsoft wants everybody to move to the cloud, prioritizing everything cloud related, and want you to make quick, easy decisions when it comes to purchasing cloud licenses. So with the removal of the waterfall discounts, the beneficial effect of the EA is reducing yet again. So CSP is an interesting alternative, and Microsoft is actively positioning certain customers in a certain size, employee-wise, to migrate to CSP. You have a bit of flexibility in the way you purchase your licenses. Like I said, you can purchase monthly, annually, or per 3 years. And many of the promotions that Microsoft is releasing now, they do solely in the CSP program. So for instance, right now, if you're still interested in starting with Copilot for M365, you can do so at a reduced rate of 15%. That's a discount that's available in CSP right now. And it's a partner-led model, and that first and foremost, obviously, but I'm saving it for last here on this slide, because it drives the point home. So Microsoft has limited options to scale. So the way they try to scale is by making it easier to purchase through a contractual model like CSP or MCA, which run on the same backbone, but also to scale through their partners. So they have an insane amount of partners worldwide. They're all able to deliver the same cloud services to you as an end customer. And why not push you as an organization to one of these partners to service you and do the fulfillment for you, do the support for you. It's easier for Microsoft if a lot of companies rely on Microsoft partners rather than Microsoft itself. Everything that I've talked about, I've put into this slide. So feel free, if you're watching this on demand, to pause the video here, take a screenshot, use this to your benefit, hang it up against your wall, whatever you want to do with it. But everything that we talked about and then some is on this slide. So term and flexibility wise, the EA 3-year term, and it's always a 3-year term unless you create a custom term for it, which everything goes through amendments in the EA. So if you need anything customized, amendment. MCA-E and CSP, a lot more rigid in that sense, like a lot less customization. Microsoft definitely wants to move away from being able to customize a lot of things for their clients or customers. So with MCA and CSP, you have 3-year fixed models, but also a monthly and annual, like I said. Discounting on EA was volume-based. That's being removed, but you can still get additional relationship discounts. So I assume Microsoft will have new discounting principles based on the new model that they're putting in place. MCA-E pricing is aligned with CSP, so the core price is the same. You can negotiate with Microsoft for an additional discount, see what happens. And in CSP, definitely you have a lot of promotions and other incentives. Basically, Microsoft positions a resale price to their partners, and the partners add a margin on top of their price and then quote that out to you. So it might be that the price in CSP can be more expensive, but can also be cheaper. It just depends. So definitely always check out if you're eyeing one of these programs. Do just get an offer on one of the others to see what the differences are. You can even cherry pick sometimes if you really want to, while they're all still around. Support and billing, always very interesting in this regard because aside from EA and MCA-E, the CSP program, you will say bye-bye to direct support from Microsoft. You will get support from the partner. Best fit. Yeah, so I think the EA is still the better fit for larger companies that require some sort of customization or are used to some sort of customization. The MCA-E, smaller enterprises that are transitioning from the EA that might still want that direct connection with Microsoft, but not necessarily need a high level of customization. And CSP for the lower enterprise market to the mid-market that want to prioritize flexibility and agility and already have a good relationship with Microsoft partners that they can rely and build on top of. Or finally, scalability. EA is difficult to scale, very inflexible, I would say. With MCA-E already becomes a little bit more easier to set up, provides a good amount of structure, but CSP definitely offers the highest form of flexibility because you can shop for a partner, you can mix and match your purchasing models. You can check if there's active promotions. It's highly agile, adaptable, and partner driven. So I do always recommend currently to all our clients to just see what a CSP offer will bring for you. Some things to be aware of. So Microsoft also continuously makes updates to the CSP program. So the CSP monthly billing has seen a +5 price premium in the April of 2025, meaning that if you sign up for an annual term, but you want to be invoiced on a monthly basis, your price is 5% higher than when you just pay upfront for that entire year. CSP reseller incentives are being reduced year over year. So Microsoft is also seeing that the move to CSP means that they're paying their partners a lot of money out of pocket, rebates, adoption incentives, etc., etc. So those are always being reviewed on an annual basis and are usually going down. We've seen it with the EA happen quite significantly, and the first signs are there already for CSP as well. So this might impact as well the margins that CSP partners are willing to ask. So potentially margins might increase. If you're a large enterprise, I've said it already, that the EA. So optimization opportunities, always a key aspect. I wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't think there were optimization opportunities everywhere. Run your cost impact models. So check EA renewal versus a CSP migration versus MCA-E even. Compare what it would cost you on a monthly basis versus on an annual basis in CSP. Run the models. It might actually be very interesting. You can also cherry pick. So you can do a subset in EA and another part in CSP or the other way around. Definitely profiling becomes more important in CSP as well. A one-size-fits-all definitely doesn't fit in Microsoft's cloud world. But in an EA with additional relationship discounts, it might make sense. However, if you go to CSP and just have a margin for your partner to negotiate down, it might actually make sense to just buy what you need rather than over-allocate your users. Use 3-year CSP terms to stabilize your budgets. The 3-year term for M365, E3, and E5 is definitely interesting right now because you can lock those prices in for the entirety of 3 years. You can still mix and match it with monthly subscriptions. So you could say, I know 90% of my workforce is going to be very stable in the coming years. So I'm going to put 90% of those in a 3-year term. And the 10% I'll either buy on an annual basis or a monthly basis, or even mix and match those further as well. Finally, Copilot, obviously being very cheap now in CSP. If you're still wanting to start with Copilot for M365, for instance, purchase a few licenses in CSP, start testing, and if you are ready to make a larger commitment, maybe then, if you still have an EA, you move those over to the EA and you ask Microsoft, I want to commit to an X amount of licenses. Can we make a deal about this? And if it's not more interesting than the CSP price, just stay with CSP. Now, as a conclusion and call to action, the conclusion is the EA era is ending. I think give it 2-3 years, definitely have seen the end of the enterprise agreement. And CSP will be Microsoft preferred model. Larger enterprises will probably go to the MCA-E, think Fortune 500 companies, but I think most other companies will need to move to the CSP program. Might even want to check the prices again. From seat volume in the EA, you go to flexibility and optimization, mix and match the pricing models, mix and match the product set that you have. And again, we can help out here. LicenseQ does this on a daily basis. We model everything. EA renewals will always be put next to a CSP renewal. We always check, does it make sense to make a hybrid model? We can help profile your users in the correct way and even negotiate with Microsoft and or potential CSP partners. So if you're facing that EA renewal, or you actually already know that you want to move over to the CSP program, you know where to find us. So with that, I want to thank you for your time. I hope this was interesting to you. Drop me a note if you want to know anything else, and see you on the next one.